Hey, this is Christopher Parham, and I'm here doing a tutorial video. A lot of people ask me to make a harness for them to interface with these Multistars, and a lot of times you don't need a harness, you just simply need to swap out the connector. Now, my connector choice is XT150s, so the connectors that are on the pack are XT90s, so I'm going to swap out the XT90s for XT150s. So I'm just doing this video on how to properly do it without sparks and killing yourself or whatever. So what you want to do is take your pack, and then you want to clip one lead. You want to clip, I'm going to just start with a negative. So I'm going to just clip it right behind the connector, and that's just that simple. Take that heat shrink off, and then I want to strip just a little bit. The XT90 connector really isn't that deep, so you don't need to strip off that much. Now for the negative, I'm using a female plug, so I need to get a female connector. So I have plenty up here. I'm going to go ahead and clamp this in my vise. Alright, so that's secured in the vise. This is a standard butane Burns-O-Matic torch from Home Depot. It doesn't have a lot of life on it, but it'll get the job done. Just fill mine up and top it off. Alright, I'm just turning on, and I'm going to go ahead and fill this cup full of solder. This is a 60-40 solder right here, rosin core. I'm not going to fill the cup up all the way, probably like 3/4 of the way. So heat the connector up first and stick the wire down in there so you get the right amount in there. Good thing about this solder, since it's rosin core, there's no need to flux the wire. There's a pool of rosin flux in there, so when you go to insert the wire into the solder pool, it'll flux itself as it's being inserted. So now I want to grab the pack in a certain way where this is out of the way, and I can kind of guide and control this wire as it goes into the solder pool. But I don't want the flame, I don't want to be in any direct contact with the flame, so I'm kind of holding it a certain way. So I got control of the wire. I can move it around like this and guide it down into the solder cup on the connector. So I'm reheating the solder back up. You can tell when the solder is reflowed because that rosin will start dancing around in the cup. So I'm heating it up. Alright, so it's like that cup of rosin is just like dancing in there. So I'm going to slowly insert it. Leave the heat on for a few seconds and remove it. Try to keep the wire still. Alright, and so I did it this way to show you a rookie mistake. So if anybody can guess what I did wrong, I'll give you $100. Well, I'm not rich, but Alright, so what I did was I didn't put the connector on. Good thing is this connector is really easy to desolder, so next time you do this, make sure you slide your connector on and then solder the connection. So I'm going to desolder this. I did this purposely, but I'm going to desolder this and slide that connector on. So alright, so we got that removed, so I'm going to go ahead and get me a negative, or basically a female housing. I'm going to slide that on my battery pack. Alright, so now I'm ready to resolder that connection properly. So it's cool right now, so that connection is soldered. You want to, what you also want to do is before you slide that connector on, give it plenty of time to cool, but you can normally just blow on it and cool off the connector. So just blow on it and it'll become cool. When you slide the connector on, you want to make sure there's no solder or burrs or anything. There's like a little speck of solder right there, so I'm gonna just hit it with the file real quick. This will prevent you from snapping on the connector. This is the quick, easy way to do it. I could just hit it with the soldering iron and smooth it out, but just a few drags of the file fix that. So I'm ready to slide this over. So you just slide it over, and it looks like it kind of goes in, but that's not in all the way. So what you want to do is you want to grab the wire and give it a nice pull, and then you'll hear a snap. And then so that connection is on there firmly and it's recessed down in there, so there's no possibility of accidental shorts. So now I'm gonna go on to the second, the positive connector, and do it the same exact way. Snip it off behind the connector. Alright. Take that heat shrink off. I'm gonna strip off just a little bit. Alright, so I got that stripped off. Let me get a male connector. Put that in the vise. Fill that up full of solder. Alright, that should be enough solder. Now I'm gonna get, I don't have any reds. The customer said it was okay to use blue, so I'm gonna slide this on first. So I got that slid on. Crank my torch back up. Now I gotta hold the pack in a way to where I got control of that wire, and the connector doesn't slide down and all of that. So I gotta get myself in a quirky position. So I got it to where I still got the connector and I'm able to guide the wire and everything. So, alright. Reheat this back up. Alright, that pool of rosin is dancing around, so I'm just slowly dropping in there. Keep the heat on for a few seconds. Remove it. You keep the heat on so that the solder has a chance to wick into the wire. And then as it cools, the solder actually contracts into the wire even more. And then you end up with something like this. Again, blow that connector, cool it off a little bit. You don't want to grab it or whatever. We just want to cool it off just enough so we can slide the connector on without it melting the housing. Alright, so now we can slide that housing over. And again, we slid it on over. It's still not seated. We gotta pull it to make sure it snaps on. Alright, so it's snapped on. And so with the XT90s, we can't connect these in any type of way. These are 90 amp rated connectors, and then you can't really connect them together anyway. So by putting XT150s, you can grab another pack that has XT150s on it, and you just simply put them in series by doing this, and you have a series connection on your pack, and you can just scale up. You can keep scaling up by just putting the packs in series. So we have that, and then we have that. And so, you know, this is this will be a 16S battery. This is at storage voltage, but So I got my voltmeter on 200 volts. Put one lead on the negative, another one on the positive here. And we have 61.5 volts. So, you know, with 2 minutes and swapping out the connectors, you don't need any special harness. Just swap out the connectors for XT150s. Some people don't like them because the inner connector may, like the prongs may get squished up or whatever, but to alleviate that, I normally just take like a screwdriver and push it down through the center and just kind of go around slightly like that. And then that will re-space the connector so that when you go to plug it into the mating connector, that is a good firm fit. But other than that, it's simple as that. Thanks for watching.